Not every helicopter mission is about firepower. Some are about landing where you shouldn't and leaving before it goes wrong. This mission scenario for the MH-6J urban landing training is set in the city of Ghazni, located in east-central Afghanistan, a strategic hub along the Kabul-Kandahar highway. The Ghazni heliport serves as the starting point for all tasked flights and is located in the southern part of the city. The heliport features runway 1735 and 8 parking spots. At mission start, your MH-6 is parked at spot 3. After returning from each mission, parking spots are assigned randomly as you approach the airfield, requiring situational awareness even after touchdown. To the north, the city is visually divided by what is referred to as the Gray Belt, a strip of land running west to east that is largely free of urban structures. This belt marks both a visual and tactical boundary between coalition-controlled and insurgent-controlled areas. The area north of the Gray Belt is infiltrated and largely controlled by insurgent forces. Once you cross the Gray Belt northbound, you may encounter a variety of asymmetric threats generated randomly in both time and location. These include insurgent patrols operating along the northern boundary of the Gray Belt, snipers positioned on rooftops overlooking the area, indirect fire from mortar units targeting friendly activity in the city or reacting to landing zone smoke, and insurgent technicals equipped with mounted machine guns patrolling the northern districts. All of these events are deliberately unpredictable. On a good day, you may encounter none of them. On a bad day, you may encounter all of them, often at the same time. Troop loading and unloading is handled through the standard rearming and refueling mode. At the parking spot or the landing zone, the two fellows waiting in front of the helicopter represent a randomly generated passenger count between 1 and 6 troops. Each passenger contributes a calculated weight of 134 pounds, which is applied dynamically to the helicopter. This value is intentionally lower than real-world figures. The MH-6 flight model does not provide sufficient rudder authority at its published maximum gross weight of 3,951 pounds. In practice, directional control begins to degrade significantly once total aircraft weight exceeds roughly 3,000 pounds. By using this scaled weight model, the mission still provides a meaningful difference between flying an empty helicopter and flying a loaded one, without pushing the aircraft beyond controllable limits. The result is a realistic handling challenge that encourages careful power management and precise control during urban landings.
Request rearming.
Alright, now to the fun part. If you missed the original tasking message, you can request it again at any time through the radio menu. You just saw me doing it. We'll taxi to runway 35 and depart to the north. Looks like there's some insurgent activity at our 1 o'clock. crossing the Kabul-Kandahar Highway. We're approaching the gray belt now, and we're taking some small arms fire. When crossing the gray belt, you'll want to stay low and fast. The co-pilot will call out damage-related messages. Take those with a grain of salt. The damage model for this aircraft isn't very precise. The landing zone is just north of the gray belt, and the smoke has just been deployed. This riverbed gives us a good opportunity for a low, masked approach into the LZ.
Request rearming.
Especially after taking fire on the way in, we want to stay as low as possible and build speed quickly on departure. On the return to the heliport, if you prefer not to rely on the F10 map, look for the cluster of 5 or 6 water towers off our 1 o'clock. Aim just to the left of the leftmost tower. That will put you right over the base. I prefer flying a right downwind for runway 35, but that's entirely up to you. We're receiving landing clearance now. Take note of the assigned parking spot. Slowing to about 80 knots and starting the turn to final. If you forgot the parking spot number, a good visual cue is the group of support vehicles gathering at the assigned location. Insertion complete. Let's see what comes next. All right, this time we've been assigned an extraction task. Let's move quickly and get the guys out of the combat zone. For now, things look relatively quiet over the northern part of the city, but that can change at any moment. On the way in, we'll try to use the buildings for cover from potential small arms fire. There's the LZ smoke. On approach, you'll want to quickly assess the safest but still fast path to touchdown. That road just north of the LZ looks like a good approach corridor. Notice the tracers? The amount of time you need to remain on the ground depends on how far you touch down from the landing zone, simulating the troops' movement to the helicopter.
Request rearming.
All right, let's get out of here. Again, stay low, build speed quickly, and use buildings and terrain for shielding. More small arms fire. We'll keep it as low as possible. Looks like we made it out in one piece. The heliport is at our 1 o'clock. From here on, it's the same landing routine as before. As you can see, these individual sorties are short and fast-paced. Even after flying many runs while testing this script, I still enjoy them because no two sorties ever play out the same way. But I'll leave it to you to be the judge of that. Let me know in the comments what you liked, what you didn't, and what changes or additions you'd like to see. If there's enough interest, I may continue to expand on this project. That said, the focus will remain on providing a training-oriented scenario for DCS helicopter pilots to practice landings in a contested urban environment. It's not intended to become a full-scale wartime campaign. One final note, while this script was originally designed to be helicopter agnostic, it has since been developed and tested specifically with the MH-6J free mod. It may work with other helicopters as well, but behavior and balance have not been validated outside of the MH-6J. With that, thanks for watching.